It's a lovely morning today, and I'm always very, very happy to be with all of us. Of course, I'm with you, I'm with myself, and we talk issues concerning our health. Now, on not a very sad note though, because I was able to receive live yesterday. I got an urgent call not too long after yesterday's package. Someone had just collapsed. She fainted, and we moved on to find out what the problem is. Incidentally, she had diabetes and she didn't know about it, and she just entered into diabetic coma. Luckily, by the early hours of today, she has been brought back to life. Grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea or chocolate, whatever is your favorite, and sit tight for another few minutes. Yeah, it's a few very long minutes. We'll be discussing what pertains to our health, our life. Like I always say, our health is in our hands. It depends on what you do. We started this discussion, diabetes, and today we intend to, trash it out. Look at the herbal angle to it. But then, before we get all that done, Francis, please, could you put us in the right frame of mind with your background there?
Diabetes is one of the largest global public health concerns, imposing a different global burden on public health as well as socio-economic development. No continent is spread from its advances. However, Nigeria's 5 to 6 million diabetics is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. It is said that diabetes kills people more in Nigeria than COVID-19, tuberculosis, HIV, and cancer put together. Often referred to as a silent killer, diabetes is a common condition with lifestyle factors such as poor diet and being sedentary. A sedentary lifestyle can result in changes in the body's metabolism, including insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. Sedentary habits can manifest in a variety of ways: spending longer than average seated at your work, sitting on the couch for several hours watching television or playing video games, spending a great portion of your day lying in bed. These are all detrimental to your physical health and can increase your risk of developing diabetes. For people who have diabetes, the benefits of exercise can't be overstated. Exercise helps control weight, lowers body pressure, lowers harmful cholesterol and triglycerides, strengthen muscles and bones, reduce anxiety, and improve your general well-being. There are added benefits for people with diabetes. Exercise lowers blood glucose levels and boosts your body's sensitivity to insulin, countering insulin resistance. It is important to keep regular checkups when you have diabetes because they affect different parts of your body. Regular checks help to prevent serious diabetes-related complications like problems with your kidneys, eyes, feet, nerves, and heart. Diabetes can be accompanied by high blood pressure and high cholesterol, both of which contribute to poor circulation and further damage of organs such as heart, eyes, and nerves in particular. Scientists have not yet found a way to cure or reverse type 1 diabetes. However, it is said that someone with type 2 diabetes may reverse the condition by losing weight. A person in remission of blood sugar level is normal for 6 months or longer. However, remission is not a cure for type 2 diabetes because the disease may return. Diabetes is very expensive to manage. A family may spend between 15,000 to 20,000 naira to purchase pharmaceutical drugs on a daily or weekly basis. But how sustainable is this for the less privileged family? This is why some are looking towards alternative herbal options. Traditional treatments have been an extremely valued source of medicine all over human history. Today, the World Health Organization has listed a total of 21,000 plants which are used for medicinal purposes around the world. Among them, more than 400 plants are available for the treatment of diabetes. Despite the fact that there are many herbal drugs available for treating diabetes, only a small number of these plants have undergone scientific and medical evaluation to assess their efficacy. Diabetes is complex, with many variables and possible complications, and each person is different. It is hard to know how the condition will affect an individual's life expectancy. However, it appears likely that with an early diagnosis and effective management, many people can expect to live a good quality life.
And when we talk about food, it is important we pay attention to it, not just at old age, but at every single stage in your life. What you eat is really what you are. And diabetes has a whole lot to do with what we ingest in our system. Diet says so. And let's join her. She gives us the reasons.
Eating is arguably the most important part of a day-to-day life. While eating is a must, healthy eating is what makes our body and mind feel well at all times.
We need to watch what we eat because food play a very major role in determining how healthy we are. If we eat the wrong things, like I said, we can become sick. Now, watching what we eat, it's not like you have to be looking at your food. It means you have to pay attention to the very nutrient components that are entering your plate. Okay, are you getting enough vegetables? Are you getting enough of the fruits, the quantity that you should be getting? Are you getting enough of starch in the right, quality and the right quantity? So that's basically what watching what we eat means. Okay, we need to watch to ensure we're getting the right quality and we're eating the right quantity of every nutrient.
The main rule of healthy eating is deciding first what to eat, what not to eat, and when to eat. Adults tend to have chronic medical conditions and take prescription medications that may require modified diets.
I'll say it should start from the time we are still in the womb. Yes, because healthy nutrition is important for a healthy pregnancy outcome. There are nutrients that are needed when a woman is pregnant. For instance, iron. If the woman doesn't get enough iron during the time she's pregnant, it can affect the pregnancy outcome. Okay, watching what our children eat too is equally very important because good nutrition is important through the growth stages of their lives, for their growth, their mental development and physical development. Can also afford to buy what we eat. That's at the adult stage. It becomes, very, very important because at that point, the decision is not ours to make. We have to decide the outcomes we want to have later in life, whether we want to have, live longer, whether we want to have, one disease or the other cropping up, like diabetes, like hypertension. So those are things that should actually, motivate us towards watching what we eat.
There are many benefits of healthy eating. Besides the fact that it may help you live longer, it is important to ensure you are giving the body the fuel it needs to stay healthy.
Well, we can use food to, improve our health and prevent illnesses by ensuring that we select the right components. For example, we have 7 classes of food, okay? We have the carbohydrates, the protein, the fats, vitamins, minerals, water, and fiber. So if we are making good selection from all the sources, careful selection from food from all these classes, we'll discover that we'll be able to have better health. For example, we have to cut down on sugar and sugar-added drinks and beverages. Okay, because doing that can actually predispose us to gaining weight, and it can also be a predisposing factor to other illnesses like diabetes coming up. Okay, so that is very important. Our choice of fat is also important. We have the healthy and unhealthy fats. That is the saturated fat, which is not healthy, and the unsaturated fat, which is the healthy type of fat. So we have to be mindful about foods that contain this unhealthy type of fat, because when we take that, it can also lead to problems, things like heart diseases, even diabetes, because by the time we are eating a lot of all these unhealthy fats, we discover that it will promote obesity, which is also a factor implicated when diabetes occurs. So it's really important that we have a careful selection of every food, making sure that we eat more of vegetables and some fruits, ensuring that we eat whole grains as against processed foods, ensuring that our foods are predominantly plant sourced, okay, and of course minimally processed, because once food undergoes processing processes, you discover that most nutrients are lost in the process.
Healthy eating also boosts a person's mood and provide good energy to the body. It is better to take your food like drugs now than to take drug like food much later when you grow older.
Food is good though, I can assure you. Food is very, very good. But you know that somebody once told me that it's not what, comes out of you that kills you. A lot of times it's what goes into you that kills you. I don't know which one, but it's important we pay attention to what we eat. Control your eyes, control your throat. It's important. And then when you also do that, another thing to think about is for you to move around. My producer calls it simply move that body. And what does that mean? Exercise. I think I'll just have to try and move this body even as I'm seated. So let's go there. Move that body.
Hardly anyone wants a diagnosis that says diabetes, be type 1 or type 2. Perchance it has already happened. Believe this, life can go on. Start now to make the necessary healthy changes. Start walking. Walking is most probably one of the most prescribed activities for people with diabetes. Brisk walking done at a pace that raises the heart rate. And all you need is a good pair of shoes and a place to go. Then there's weight training to maintain muscle. This builds muscle mass and is important for those with diabetes, because if you lose muscle mass, you have a lot harder time maintaining your blood sugar. What about swimming? Get your swimming costume ready and start with this aerobic exercise, because it doesn't put pressure on your joints, and being buoyed by the water is less stressful sometimes than walking or jogging. Exercise has many health benefits. Get started, along with picking up other healthy habits like eating healthy, getting regular medical checks. Manage your stress well. Avoid smoking. Reduce or completely stop alcohol consumption. Stay healthy, stay well.
All right, weekend deal. I know that yesterday a lot of messages were not taken. Just before I bring in the doctor, we'll read out some of them and take as much as we can as answer, and the rest the doctor will be answering as we go. This person says, "Good morning, Ma. You're treating a very important topic, diabetes. What are the major causes of diabetes?" Ahmed Adelekum from Victoria Island, Lagos. And Ahmed, the doctor, when he steps in, will definitely answer that question for you. Somebody here says that he is diabetic and has been taking his medication, but he notices he has a erectile dysfunction. What is the relationship? Okay, we will still be answering that with the doctor. Those are questions we're piling up. Good morning. The doctor said prayer can take away diabetes. That is a lie. Wow. He never said that. As much as I remember yesterday, he did not say that prayers will take it away. He said, as much as you pray, you should also do the needful, which is maintain a healthy lifestyle. And with that, I'll just leave it and take in my doctor. No, there's this question here calling. He says, please, I am Mike Oxford, watching live from Oka. My younger brother had diabetes and still has diabetes at an early stage. How come he has it while me, the elder brother, does not have it? All right, I know there was an explanation to this yesterday, but we also will explain that further as time moves on. Let's do this, okay? Please, how can I help myself, free from diabetes with natural cure? All right, I will be answering that question with a feature from Semben. He says Agbo and diabetes. Let's see it.
Today, we'll be taking a look at the bark of trees, their roots, and some herbs. A drink made out of this mixture called agbo. It is said to be the most popular herbal preparation taken for various diseases. We caught up with one of many agbo sellers and asked what each concoction was for.
This one for sugar. If person get sugar or diabetes for body, if you drink am in Jesus' name, you go cure am. This one for belle turn, belle turn you. This one you cure am. This one lime orange. Na lime orange be the name. This one na pepper soup for washing and shedding. Person wey dey smoke cigar for lunch, if you drink this one, you go cure am, you go comot am, you go clean am. Or both women wey get infection, if you drink am, you go comot everything. They go jaundice wey dey inside belle. This one is for typhoid malaria. Person get malaria now, if you drink am with milk or if you drink am ordinary. This one for sugar. Thick one na original, this one na jedi. For sugar, waist pain, if man feel say in no rice well, if you drink am, you go make am dey okay.
How many Nigerians know of agbo, and how many of them will be willing to take it, whatever the reason?
I don't really like agbo. Don't worry, I don't really like agbo, and I don't like taking it because one is bitter, and two, you don't know where they're taking it from. They will say natural something. I don't understand, but me personally, I don't like it. I don't like taking it at all.
Sometimes it's herbal that as I'm aging now, sometimes I feel weak in my leg or on the general body. So I did it agbo myself. I arrange them, pick them, then add some lime orange and other petty things like that under the pot. Then put the leaves on it. Then I cook it for a while. After cooking it, I'll put inside a cup. After cooling down, I'll drink it. And sometimes I feel, after the drinking, I'll feel I'll come to my normal self.
Actually, agbo is not advisable, but once in a while I do take it to cleanse my body system.
I prefer the agbo. You know why? It's easier accessible. If you meet someone who can probably prescribe well for you, it works faster than the hospitalized one. Once you get to the hospital, sometimes I have someone in the hospital, it's try and error. They keep trying this, trying that, trying this, trying that. But once you go to the herbal woman, once you tell her, if I'm feeling headache, you say, okay, it's headache. She'll prescribe something for you. And then before you know it, 2 or 3 days, it's gone.
With some testifying that it works for them, we begin to wonder how these women are able to give the right dosage without any orthodox form of prescription. There are concerns about possible damages this mixture can cause to some of the organs in our bodies, as well as their shelf life and expiry dates.
All right. Okay, I told you that your questions will all be answered because I have my specialist seated here. And I'm going to start directly from the last question, which is also linked to the feature we just saw by Semben. Doctor, thank you for coming. But first of all, I'd like the guests to know your names, our viewers to know your name as the MD Rosu Holistic Healthcare.
Yes.
Also, Dr. Ozu Onyemechi
Robert.
Roberts. Okay,
Yes.
nice to have you in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, quickly, somebody asks, what is the place of herbs, on the treatment or prevention of diabetes, as we're looking at?
I mean, you mean herbs recommend?
Yes, any herbal,
Any herbs
natural,
that are
whatever it
recommended.
is.
Yeah, well, there's so many medicinal plants or herbs you can use to manage diabetes effectively. There's this one called citrus.
I like the way you say manage.
Manage, yes. No, manage. Citrus is called native melon in English. In Igbo it's called egusi bara or egusi. This is egusi that we normally eat, and in Yoruba it's called bara. Unfortunately, I don't know how it's being pronounced or what it's being called in Hausa. It has a very high purgative effect. It has demonstrated the capacity to lower blood sugar, and not just lowering blood sugar in the system, it supports the functionality of the pancreas. Of course, we know that the pancreas play a key role in when it comes to issue of diabetes. So the beta cell supports the formation of beta cells, the cell responsible for production of insulin in the system. So that native melon is very, very good. Very, very good.
Okay.
Native melon.
Now, I'll still go back to what we eat and then, the natural forms of ingesting things. But going back to what we saw earlier, a lady had a bottle, who was, she was hawking agbo, as we call it.
Yes.
And one man, showed a lot of respect for what she was carrying. In fact, he said, I love this kind of treatment.
Yes.
She knows my problem and she gives me exactly what I need.
Yes.
These hawkers, can we believe in them? Can we actually rely on them and their products?
That's
because the truth is, walk around Abuja every morning, you will see a lot of people taking it.
Yes. Honestly, to be honest with you, these hawkers, we are not doubting what they are doing. They are doing it well because we know that what they are carrying is herbal medicine, is agbo. It has a lot of therapeutic effects, of course, but you can't be doing the right thing in the wrong way. That is where I have a challenge. The challenge is medicine should not be hawk. That's one. Number two, we have gone beyond where you just mix up agbo and people begin to drink. There should be standardization.
Okay, I was just going to ask you.
Yes, there should be standardization, there should be formula, there should be registration. Do you know why? Because some of these plants you mentioned, or some of these agbo, some are also toxics that in nature, that. So the fact that we are using herbal medicine doesn't mean that it is completely safe, 100% safe.
Everything has side effects.
Everything. So this one, it is important that our body is making effort to bring them in, so that we can educate them and tell them the best way. What about the hygienic condition? The locations or the place where these herbs are produced? How is the environment? You in person who is producing it, what are the SOP, standard operating system, have you taken into consideration? Do you have GMP, good manufacturing practice, or what you are doing? So we are trying to bring them in and encourage them. Of course, yes, what you are doing is fantastic, because whether we like it or not, in the rural area, 90% of people living there patronize the practitioners also, so the workers. So we are encouraging them, keep doing what you do, but we need you to come so we can educate you the modern herbal practices.
So without meaning to deviate, but are we successful in trying to put them together as a body to ensure that the right things are transmitted and given to the people?
Yeah.
Any success story?
Yes, because I give kudos to the TCAN Department of Federal Ministry of Health.
Okay.
TCAN means Traditional Complementary and Alternative Medicine. And ever since the emergence of this department, under the Federal Ministry of Health, amazing things have happened. They are able to bring the herbal practitioners together, one in workshop, training, seminars, so that the days of the days of saying I can do heaven and earth, I can cure all the incurables. I mean, you have to, we are beginning to see how we can specialize on a particular health issue. You concentrate there. So at the same time, we have also made efforts, to bring these hawkers together. A lot are becoming to register with us, to be identified with us. And so far, so good. It has been really, really wonderful. And I give kudos to Tika.
All right, so our doctor is here, and I know that all those who ask me a lot of questions on herbal medicine, it's your time to actually have that sent in so that the doctor here can quickly take on that. But I'd like to know, when we speak of herbal medicine, when we speak of natural cure, a lot of us see it as probably something in a bottle or something in a wrap or funny looking things. Share your experience with our feeding. What are those things we use probably to cook that can actually help us maintain a healthy lifestyle, to either stay away from diabetes or step down the effects if we have it? I mean, like the regular things I use in my kitchen.
Most of our domestic ingredients have a lot to contribute to the management of diabetes and also prevention. I think one basic thing we need to understand is every diabetic patient or those who want to prevent diabetes should understand what is called glycemic index.
Glycemic index?
Glycemic index.
Okay.
So glycemic index is a measure of carbohydrates between 1 to 100 after we've taken the meal. Mm-hmm. So we need to understand what are those carbohydrates what are those food that when we consume, it give us a high glucose in our system, and those that we consume, it give us a very low glucose in our system.
They tell us if you have diabetes, avoid this, avoid that, but some of us still have that craving. Can we still take a little bit of those starchy things, just small, to help us take care of the cravings?
Just as I said earlier, avoidance is not the key. The key is, am I eating at the right time? Am I eating the right portion or sizes? Mm. And am I regulating my food intake? So just like yesterday, you took your breakfast around 8 a.m. Today, 10 a.m. Tomorrow, probably it will be 12 a.m.
So we must have
12
a consistent
midnight.
time.
So there should be consistency in your food intake and also the sizes, the portion. So when you want to eat, of course, we know that breakfast is very important for everybody. It's energy giving food.
We do intermittent fasting.
Yes, and you see Nigerians, many of them doesn't understand the importance of breakfast. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some say, I want to check my weight. I'm monitoring my weight, so I'm going to eat around 12, 1, 2 breakfast. What happened to your cells? The cells have been craving for nutrients, have been craving for food, and you, unconsciously, before when you eat, you're going to eat more than what you have eaten before without knowing. So it has nothing to do with avoid carbohydrates completely. No. Okay. It has to do with how can you portion the food you eat so that it becomes a balanced diet.
All right. Now, some people will tell you that they will rather control their portion, make it smaller, and avoid exercise. If I avoid exercise completely and mind what I eat, will I still be predisposed to diabetes?
Absolutely, yes. So because when we talk about lifestyle, do you know that just ordinary exercise, regular, just periodic exercise, has a lot to do in the formulation of beta cells in your system. Mm-hmm. And the beta cell is the cell responsible for production of insulin, which, of course, in extension, insulin will help your glucose to be absorbed by the cells in the system for storage as energy and for future use, of course. So you can't do one without the other. Like me, exercise is one key that everybody, especially those above 40 years, exercise is something that we should not joke with. Mm-hmm. So two of them is a combination of a holistic life. You don't need to fragmentize the life. You have to live a holistic life. You do your exercise, you manage your food very well, and also manages your stress. And before you know, you will live a healthy
Once
life.
you're tired, if you have a little bit of workouts before bedtime,
Yes.
you have to relax. But then you are a herbalist, and I know that you have been, you have your association, and you've been every day trying to do one thing or the other by way of research.
Yes.
What have you, not you as a person,
Yes.
your union, achieved, to be able to give me confidence to taking your products completely? Because till date, a lot of people are still scared, of the product from.
I want to tell Nigerians
Especially
and
in the
our
area
viewers.
in diabetes.
Yes, now in the area of diabetes, I want to tell them one thing right now, that the days are gone when we used to say the herbalists did not go to school, they're illiterate, they don't have standards, there's no dosage. Those days are gone. Right now, as I mentioned earlier, with the emergence of TICAN department, Federal Ministry of Health, means government is now interested in what we are doing. So we are beginning to be recognized that we have a role to play in the primary healthcare delivery of this great nation. Now, we also have a body, and this body is the modern herbal practitioners of Nigeria. It's a body. Now, NAFDAC is doing a whole lot of things as well, integrating, bringing herbalists together, and also guiding them on safety. I know the plants that can come and mix up together, and I've done my own job. I will give it a scientist. For example, I will give, like now, a team, my own team. I have Professor McDonald Edu. He's a professor of phytomedicine from University of Benin. Almost all my job I've been analyzing University of Benin, headed by Professor McDonald. So one, we look at the safety, we look at the toxicity, we look at some of the therapeutic effects, So now, why should Nigeria not believe what we are doing? After
in the English medicine, or orthodox medicine, as we call it, medical checks are always emphasized even before a symptom begins to show or the patient knows. In herbal medicine, do you also emphasize this, and how do you check this?
Okay,
for diabetes, if I need to keep constantly checking, how do you check that for me?
No, see, it's a combination. For example, now in our clinic, right now, it's a purely herbal clinic, but we cannot give you anything to manage your health without first calling for a comprehensive laboratory test.
Oh, okay.
You see, so we cannot. So that is why we call it. It should be complementary.
Okay.
It should be complementary. So we have to integrate all the whole system together and achieve one goal.
All right. So we have messages coming in. Let's see what we can take. Good morning, doctor. Is it advisable for a diabetic patient to drink Agbo? That's Suleiman Mohammed Jeddah, and I know your answer is a yes.
The answer is yes, but drink the right Agbo.
Okay. So. I know that he want to ask you what is the right Agbo, and for you.
Yes, as I said earlier, the right Agbo is Agbo that have been standardized.
Okay, all right. Please, question is, if herbal medicine can be used to cure diabetes, then can it also be used to cure hepatitis B? Well, I am not going to go into this discussion
we're not
this
here for
morning because
hepatitis
we're
B.
not here to take hepatitis B. But what type of bread should a diabetic patient take? Wheat or
brown bread.
Okay.
Brown bread. Brown
okay.
bread, yes.
That's good.
Or wheat bread.
Okay.
Brown bread or wheat bread, yes.
Okay.
Whole wheat bread.
All right. Ololade in Lori, that's our regular. He says, "Good morning. I love your program. It's very educative." From Akin Ololade in Lori. Thank you very much. And he has another question. The best solution to this disease is more enlightenment and doing away from foods that are risk factors. All right, thank you. The doctor totally agrees with you. My name is Solomon Ito. I enjoy your program. And please, I want to ask, when somebody has pain on the feet, as the bottom,
yes,
is that also a sign of diabetes?
One of the signs of diabetes is numbness, or feeling of the numbness in the hands and the foot.
Numbness.
Numbness. Probably, if that is what you are referring, then it's one of the signs of diabetes.
Okay, so but I know that diabetes, some people say is a silent killer, which means sometimes there's no symptom at all. So when do I begin to check?
Some people are diagnosed diabetic when probably one health issue took them to hospital, and the course of
Treatment.
evaluation and treatment, the doctor will discover that the sugar level is very high, you are diabetic. So I encourage my people that look, as long as you are above 30 years, you need periodic checkup. Go to hospital, check your sugar level, check your weight, and also check your BP, because sometimes you may not have symptoms yet, and you're already diabetic.
Wow.
So it can, before you know it, you just manifest in a full force, and that could be disaster.
That's scary. All right, somebody says here, please, I want to collaborate with Dr. Ozu. Can you give him my number? He says his name is Dr. Linus here in Abuja. Okay, collaboration, collab. All right, Obi.
Okay.
And while you're doing that collaboration, it's up to you. I'll give you his number if you want to collaborate. We'll go on a break now, and when we return, the discussion will continue. Of course, we'll take more of your question. By the way, doctor, I have my own abo here. Okay. You want me to offer you? I have mine. I can offer you. It's herbal.
What abo is that?
Oh, my abo. Yes. You want me to share my recipe? Sorry, then I use it and do markets. Let's go on a break. We still have Dr. Ozu Roberts here with us, and Nigerians are asking questions. Someone says here, when is the right time to eat my 3-square meal to avoid trouble? You didn't write your name.
Just eat before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Give 5 hours distance again before you eat, and 5 hours again before you eat. So eat in the interval of 5 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 5 hours.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, somebody from Lube says his name is Chief Chibo. You should explain what you said earlier about scent leaf and how to use it. This is important because I know someone who squeezed scent leaf on daily basis in a bottle and kept drinking it until she had issues. So I think you should.
Yes. For scent leaf, when you get a fresh scent leaf, dry in a cool temperature, like room temperature. Of course, you should make it hygienic, ensure that it's not being exposed to bacteria or air, bacteria. Then you can bag it airtight. Take a handful of it, like after you have dried it, you can blend. You can blend the look, not a fine powder. You can blend, just
crush them
a little bit. Then you can bag. Then take a handful in a teacup, in a kettle, add 50 cl of water.
Yeah, 50 cl.
That is 1 sachet water.
Yeah, okay.
1 sachet. So
right.
Commonly, so those 1 sachet like that is equivalent to 50.
Now.
Yes, like this cup.
Okay.
And boil. The moment you get to boiling point, you sieve and you drink. You drink 1,
okay,
in the morning and repeat in the evening. But this is not replaces your medication.
Okay.
Please.
So, and do I need to do it every day?
You do morning and you do at night.
For how many days?
For the first 1 week, you are beginning for the first 1 week, you do morning and night. Then after 1 week, then you can do once in the day.
All right. Yes. Now, this gestational diabetes, I prefer to call it pregnancy diabetes. Is it preventable with herbal medicine?
It is, of course, it's preventable because it is just a period of time. And when I've seen many patients that will come and said, doctor, it's only when I'm pregnant that this issue will arise. But the moment I put to bed,
it goes away.
So which means prior to your pregnancy or before you miss your period, you now begin to manage your food intake, just like what I mentioned before, your GI index. Understand the kind of food that will shoot up your blood sugar level, and so try to maintain a well-balanced diet. And before you know it, I've done that to 3 women. And they succeeded. I gave them full timetable. I told them how to, because you need what's called deliberate discipline. Deliberate discipline. And through them, I got results. And they were so happy.
Okay, so we have had a lot of people talk about diabetes reversal or diabetes remission, whatever it is. We will get to understand it. But let's look at this full package by IG. When we come back, we still talk.
The internet provides us with answers to many of our questions, especially questions concerning our health. But at times, people are either misled or misinformed. For example, we searched on diabetes reversal to establish the many claims in the social space that diabetes can be reversed with some sort of alternative drugs, herbs and spices, as well as lifestyle modification, which is what many Nigerians living with the medical disorder are eager to know. As you can see, there are hundreds of adverts, articles, and testimonies on diabetes reversal, natural remedies, and even permanent cure. So, we talked to Dr. Susanna Adams, a diabetes expert and health wellness coach, to tell us more facts on that.
It's very popular now for you to hear diabetes reversal. And you go on the internet, you say, oh, I drank bitter leaf and I reversed my diabetes. Right now, there's not a single drug out there that is made for diabetes cure or reversal. So drug-wise, it's not there. 2, we have different types of diabetes. There's type 1, there's type 2, gestational diabetes and others, but the one that we are mostly talking about is this type 2, which is mostly lifestyle-induced diabetes. This type 2 is divided into 2 again. The first aspect is your ability to make insulin is impaired, not 0, impaired, because if it's 0, then you're like a type 1 and you have to be insulin dependent. The second one is insulin resistance. What I've found out based on my own research, most Nigerians, they have insulin resistance problem. That one can be easily corrected. So we now perfected a way to correct the insulin resistance, and they check their sugar. It's normal. Now, according to American Diabetes Association, John Hopkins, even if you go to Mayo Clinic, they don't call it diabetes reversal. They call it remission. Remission is because if you can use lifestyle modification to get the sugar off your body, like you can live drug-free life. In Nigeria, we call it reversal.
Now that we know what is possible in the treatment of diabetes and the right term to use in the place of reversal, it is then important to focus on lifestyle modification, which has been proven to be the lead factor in diabetes remission. Again, the good news is, yes, diabetes can go into remission for as long as one maintains healthy living and you can keep off drugs.
I've also come to find out, and this is what I learned in my Harvard program, that lifestyle modification, if you stop it, actually the diabetes can come back. And this is why in the first world, we are fighting the word reversal, because reversal means outwardly. That means after you do something and it doesn't come, you can chill. But we've come to find out, let's say the problem why you became a diabetic is obesity, not eating well. If you go back and do those things excessively and you're not on the medicine, it can actually come back.
Well, knowing what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat is a greater step towards prevention and management of diabetes. However, it is also advisable to consult medical experts rather than Dr. Google when looking for answers concerning our health.
Don't go to Dr. Google. But then Dr. Google is very cheap. So we always find ourselves going back there. You don't need to spend time. You don't need to hospital card.
You need to get the data.
We don't need to buy card. We don't need to pay for this and all that.
But information will be misformed.
All right. So it's just to create enlightenment, and of course, when you're looking for an expert to go to, who can refer you to different places regarding what you've logged in. All right. Now, it's good to know that I can actually have remission to a certain level, and then if I maintain a healthy lifestyle, there is no going back to that very dangerous one. I notice you've been fiddling with this bottle. Is this also a bitters? Because there's so many bitters in the market now.
Yeah, there are so many bitters in the market. But Nigerians will have to also understand that not all bitters are bitters. Some are alcoholic drink and they call it bitters.
Oh.
So alcoholic drink. So a diabetic patient going to go and take alcoholic drink in the name of taking bitters. When we say that you are taking bitters, you are taking something that is non-alcoholic, 100% herbal, well packaged, certified by NAFDAC. For example, a product like this can be consumed because this is standard. It has been standardized.
This is bitter.
This is bitter.
Okay, can I say it?
Yes, it has been standardized. And with NAFDAC registration for safety, which is very okay. So by the time, most time when we take this formulation, it's purely for what? Improvement of your health. Metabolism, detoxification. Of course, we should know the role the liver play, even in diabetes, because you know that most carbohydrates we take convert to glucose and are stored in the liver, of course, for future use. So taking a formulation like this has a whole lot to give to the system, So we should. I think what Nigerians need is enlightenment, awareness.
Which is why we're doing
exactly, because if you go to a market today, you see a whole lot of bitters. These are not bitters, these are alcoholic drink.
Okay, but I know that some of these very native people, they mix these things, and some of them actually mix with the ones that carry on the bucket or basin or bath or whatever.
Yes.
They actually mix with water or with alcohol.
Yes.
If you ask me, I'll say that thing is ethanol.
Yes,
so,
ethanol.
Are they the ones they are mixing direct, so it's not healthy anymore?
My problem or my fear is, what is the percentage of alcohol in the mixture? Because NAFDAC has a recommendation. So you can't just give me 30% of alcohol in a mixture and say I'm taking herbal medicine. No, I'm consuming alcohol. But alcohol is a good solvent, of course, we know. Alcohol is a good solvent for extraction, and so most of us, we use alcohol for extraction, and after which it can also be evaporated. But there's also some herbal formulation that requires some percentage of alcohol, of course. But all this have to be standardized. That is where the challenge is.
Standardization. A lot of people are writing here asking me for your phone number. I guess I will do that when we are done with the program. And I like the head person. They said, Auntie Amy, good morning. All right, let Dr. Uze pass on his phone number. We will do that. Another person is asking me this question. I've tried to dodge it, but repeatedly it keeps coming. He says, Doctor, thank you for this opportunity. Please, how does my diabetes situation affect my rectal dysfunction?
Yes, because, when it comes to the issue of diabetes, we're simply talking about what excess blood sugar level. Whether type 1 or type 2 or whatever be the case, either the insulin, the pancreas is not producing enough insulin to regulate the blood sugar, or the cells in the body, especially the cells in the muscle, in the liver, cannot, take up insulin. It becomes insulin resistance. It's any of them. Now, the moment this happens, the blood sugar begins to float in the system, creating a whole lot of challenges. And one of the major areas that it will affect for men is the reproductive function. because of course the reproductive system of a man is designed in a way that it has to work with the nervous system, it has to work with the brain, and there are some organs that are supposed to work for all this to function very well. And so it becomes difficult because of this excess sugar in the system, it affects other organs.
Okay, just like when you have diabetes, they say if you have a wound or a cut, it's difficult to heal.
To heal, exactly. Okay. Because the muscle, they said all these cells that couldn't take up, that become resistance, or they're not having enough insulin to regulate the sugar level, begin to malfunction. And when they malfunction, some died, some could not be replicated, then the man begin to see a whole lot of signs, not only even in reproductive system, what about the vision? Begin to have eye challenges, blood vision. So
high blood pressure.
The next thing, it moves to the heart and causes heart challenges like a heart attack, cardiac arrest. So that is why the man is also having problem of the weak erection or erectile dysfunction. But the good news is that with proper health treatment, with proper lifestyle changes, remission is
possible.
Is possible, very, very possible.
And then when this remission happens, the dysfunction can be
I've have not less than 200 people.
Wow.
That now they're telling me, Dr. Robert, I don't want to argue whether diabetes can be cured or not, but what I'm telling you is that all my symptoms are no longer seeing them. And that is the good news. You can live a healthy life. You can be so happy. All those symptoms of excessive urination, getting tired, or being fatigued, or, sweating profoundly, or being unable to satisfy the woman or your wife, or having an eye challenge. When all these symptoms disappear, what is you live a healthy life?
Very sure.
So I don't want to begin to be talking about whether I have diabetes or not.
Okay.
What matters is all my symptoms have disappeared.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And good morning, my friends in the studio. I'm sending this from Anambra State, Dr. Precisely. My name is Engineer Issa Kenneth Wopai. He says he believes in herbal medicine 100%. Whenever he's sick, he goes to the bush and helps himself. And thinks Nigerians should relate to that. Thank you very much. Now, you talked about urine. I have heard too many times, that's one of the, I don't know if it's a form of test or something, when a diabetic patient pee on the ground, ants will come around
because
it. Is that to be?
Yeah, because it's also a sign because the urine is sugary.
Oh.
Because the sugar level also penetrates through the bladder and it's also another sign to test that the person is diabetic.
Okay.
It's through the urine test.
All right. So I know that diabetes, it's caused by different things. Some are genetic, some are lifestyle.
Yes.
Is the herbal treatment a flat rate?
Yes. For just as you said, genetics or lifestyle. These are the two areas where you look at diabetes in perspective. So, if you are treating type 1, the mode is different from if you are treating type 2. But generally, you can use herbal medicine to manage it very, very well. So, but the mode of treatment it differs because the causes
are not the same.
Are not the same.
Okay, definitely. Somebody says, happy Sunday to you. It's me, Linus Dennis. Please, what's the standard level of alcohol that can be taken with herbs? I think you spoke something about mixing it. Is this something you can tell us?
No, but I don't want to begin to give you something that will give you a challenge later. So we have a regulatory body that if you go to the regulatory body, it will tell you the percentage of alcohol that must be in the and that is our National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, otherwise known as NAFDAC.
All right. Good morning, doctor. Is there any specific tea for diabetic patients? That's Azim from Jos.
Any specific tea?
Tea.
Yes, you can have a mistletoe tea. You can have a Saint leaf tea. I mentioned Saint leaf tea here. It's a very, very powerful tea. And if you combine Saint leaf and mistletoe and bitter leaf. Oh my God, you have done a wonderful formulation for your life in managing diabetes. Yeah. I don't know how much you are going to pay me for this. I'm just giving you my formula. All right. So if you get scent leaf, bitter leaf, and mistito. Mistito is a plant that is parasitic, can grow on top of a tree. They grow in kola nut, cocoa, mango, pear, guava, When you get these three leaves together in equal proportion, call me for detail for formulation anyway, but for equal proportion, and you a handful of it as well can be infused in hot water and brew. Then you take it. It's very, very good for managing diabetes.
Okay, doctor, is it possible to do sugar tests and told that it is normal and that person still has diabetes? You can go, that she's asking, if I go for a test, yes, sugar level test, and it comes out, I'm okay, normal. Yes. Can that person still have diabetes?
No, one thing is, if the person is not managing, if it has not been diabetic and it's not managing diabetes, because sometimes if you're managing diabetes, in the course of taking your medication, the sugar can just drop. That is one. But if you are not diabetic, you just want to run tests, and after the result and they say the sugar level is at optimal level, then you are fine. But this have to be repeated like 2-3 times so that before to be assured.
Okay. What's the level for sugar test? What's the best level?
It's 18% or 5.4 or 5.7, okay, then you're very okay.
All right, so that's a good one. Thank you so much. A lot of people are writing here, and most of them are asking for your contacts, which we intend to give them after the program. I must say a big thank you for what you're doing and continue to improve on standard. As you said, as you make the qualities, you also ensure that the standards are right. Thank you. We'll be speaking with Dr. Ozu Onyemaechi Roberts. He is a herbal practitioner and the MD of the Uzu Holistic Medicine. Okay. Doctors have told us that even if your family does not have a history and your lifestyle is not good, meaning that you're sedentary and you eat the wrong things, the possibility of you becoming diabetic later in life or even your middle age, it's still very possible. So you must pay attention. And we want to use this moment to say rest in peace to our sister, our friend, our entertainer, and the lady whose ministration took us greatly, to the spiritual realm, to visit God spiritually and, grow our spirits to synergy. We miss you and we will continue to miss you. But the good things, your voice is still with us. Rest in peace. We will be ramping up at this point and we say join us again next week when we bring an exciting topic on this platform. Again, my name is Elizabeth and later on in the course of the day, we will send you the doctor's